Welcome. You are tuned in to a special edition of Community Chat. The idea of this episode and others that will follow is to better inform you about the candidates who are running for the town election as of April 30th, 2022. That's, I believe, a Saturday. And we plan on sitting down with candidates who are running for the Board of Health. Joining us today is one of those candidates. We have Jaimi Pinola. She is a candidate for Board of Health. Jaimi, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, first thing out of the first question I'll ask you, and that is tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
So I've lived in Abington for almost 5 years now. I have 6 children in the school system. I became interested in running for Board of Health through, the pandemic, and all of these things kind of opened a lot of our eyes, I think, to, other things in the community that we might not have before thought about without issues like this. And I felt that a different opinion or a different voice might be helpful. And so I figured I would give it a shot.
Other than the pandemic, was there anything else that motivated you to run or seek election to the Board of Health?
Well, I currently work from home, and I'm much more involved I used to work in Boston a lot, and I'm much more involved with my children and everything that's happening in school and in the town, and I thought it would be a good time I would have the availability to put more of my time into being a more active member in our own community in Abington. So that was another reason.
In your opinion, what is the primary function of the Board of Health?
I think it's to keep the community aware of what they can do to stay healthy, keep the community clean. I know there's a lot of trash issues that we might be able to, help with. And that's basically all for now that I know about.
How would you define public health?
I would define it as being aware of what our community is suffering from or with, including, addiction and our water issues, and just like the cleanliness of our streets and how people can stay active and give them resources for healthier eating, because it's very expensive now, not only to buy organic, but to buy your fresh foods are very expensive. It's much easier to just get canned things, and I know a lot of people probably do that, but we might be able to find some more cost-effective ways for people to get their hands on more healthy foods and being active and knowing what's out there.
What do you feel that you could most contribute to this board if reelected?
I think I could contribute a difference of opinion. For the current board, I know a lot of members have left, but I feel like I think a little bit differently than the people that were currently on it, and learning more about each other and why we think the way we do could broaden everyone's thought process, and that's my main reason.
As we attempt to navigate life post-COVID, we cannot ignore that the pandemic did bring to light a few hot-button issues. How do you feel you'd be able to handle any kind of internal or external conflict if placed in a similar situation as a board member?
Well, communication is key, I think, and communication with each other and communication with the community, I think is very important. Not knowing what this thing may be, I think talking it out and hearing what other people think and have to say, and bringing our thoughts as a group together in a public forum, say at a meeting, if there was something brought up at a particular meeting that we didn't have the answer to, I believe that it should be put on the agenda for the following meeting so that we can all talk about it, and it can be, recorded for people who can't make it, and, just try to work together diplomatically.
I'm going to allude to something you had mentioned earlier on in an earlier question, there is a potential that if you are elected and while you're serving on the health board, that the trash contract will be up for renewal. Now, while the contract does not fall under the board's purview, as a board member, what kind of regulation or regulations would you propose to help reduce trash tonnage?
Funny you should mention that. It was actually the question of the week this week. And my answer was try to find ways to maybe create a compost site or inform people on how to compost themselves. Maybe get some local farmers and landscapers to maybe participate in this or have their own site or do a town-wide site where people could drop off compost and pick up compost for those who need it. Educate people on how to reuse recyclables rather than just throwing them away. And I also thought it would be cool if we could get the kids involved in some ideas and see what they might come up with and kind of involve them in it.
If you are elected, let's talk about being proactive when it comes to community issues. Mm-hmm. What would you like to promote or see the board promote that's geared towards town betterment?
Health and how to be healthy, how to stay healthy, how to keep moving, how to eat right.
Is there a particular issue or question that I haven't asked here during our brief time together, but you want to take a moment to discuss or mention, or maybe something that we had talked about prior that you may want to add to?
Yes, actually, I would love to do something with the seniors, like maybe create a hat, glove, scarf, blanket drive for them in the wintertime, maybe a free yoga class, same for the kids. I think that would be cool and more interactive, you know. I can't recall if we touched on substance abuse or alcohol abuse yet, but I definitely think that that should be an issue too, that we could maybe, I mean, I don't know how to fix it all, but if we collaborated together, the board, I mean, you know, and thought of ways that we could help people who are affected directly and indirectly, I think that would be great. And obviously our water and trash issue, which I, again, don't know how to fix, but I would love to help try to figure out a way.
Final question, and that is how can residents get in touch with you or find out more information about you as a candidate for the Board of Health?
If anyone would like to get in touch with me, my email address is just my name, Jaimi Pinola @hotmail.com. Unfortunately, some people that I don't know that have emailed me might end up in junk, so you could also find me on Facebook. I have a Board of Health page there. I don't really post a lot, and I'm not super active on social media, but you'll see my statement of why I wanted to run, and you can message me there or on my personal Facebook page as well, which is Jaimi Driscoll Pinola.
We want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. And we want to thank you for tuning in to these segments to get better educated on the candidates who are on the ballot, the town ballot here in Abington, come April 30th. Well, we want to thank you for tuning in, and until next time, have yourself a great day.